Hello, everybody. Welcome to GXPC. It has been a while, but it's me, Prophet, and I will be casting alongside Rebel Fox, who will be the color caster for today. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. We're gonna get into FSG versus Schism. It's been a little bit. These guys, both, I believe, at the top of the standings right now. It should be a very important game for both teams, so that they could determine the rankings a little bit better. See where the standings are after this series.
Yeah, two pretty competitive teams, basically throughout their entire roster. I don't think either team has a real weak point. The one point of notice for today would be it'd be AM Trick subbing in for Snippet. That's maybe the one place where we might see a little bit more pressure, but save for that, I mean, both rosters have pretty solid players across the board.
We also see that Schism is pulling out all the stops here. They have Gaudier and Dylan today in the mid jungle positions, and Maverick is also back in the top lane.
Yeah, exciting to finally see what this roster can do when they've got all of their pieces in place.
We should be getting in here very shortly. At least I hope I'm not glitched and that they're pick and ban going on right now.
Yeah.
Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, hold up.
And never mind, we're waiting on Gaudier. He is here? Okay.
All right, nice.
Alright, I'm glad we're getting shoulder. Alright, there we go. First ban, FSG, choosing the blue side. I believe they got the pick for this game to go to blue side. SKZ is on red side because right now nobody wants to be red side, I guess.
My red side always has the negatives of being red side. You gotta have your camera at a weird angle and things like that. You get a weird angle to come in on the Baron. I mean, it's difficult to kind of go over that wall, but you do get a couple of counter picks. It's kind of nice. End of the third round, end of the last round, you get two guaranteed picks that you can protect. So
first, excuse me, we're gonna see the Scion ban, which is a very normal ban. The Nivea, a really surprising ban. I haven't seen her at all anywhere.
Yeah, Chris Meister plays a really good Anivia. It's one of his better champions, so that's why that's a little bit more of a targeted ban at him than just an overarching strength ban.
That's definitely the Evelyn ban targeted towards Gaudier. He's played it in this tournament. He has played it incredibly well.
Yeah, same thing on the other side from the Pantheon, getting taken away from left hook Larry. Oh man, it's kind of a shame. I wanted to see these two junglers clash with these like aggressive picks, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get that.
They're definitely clashing with bans. 3 bans already towards the jungle here. Zinzao also taken away from Gaudier, and there goes the Nocturne from both junglers, actually.
Wow.
Gaudier playing it too.
Yeah, both junglers are probably pivotal today for their team's success. Left hook Larry and Gaudier really need to bring their team to the success point because of how even these teams are in strength and in team play. So that's why we're seeing so many focuses in that jungle.
Orianna first pick here for FSG. They're definitely going to try to get some ball delivery systems going. Without the Nocturne, however, I'm expecting a support pick here, at least a one bot lane champion. I think the Braum would be really good. Braum's seen a lot of competitive play. No real buffs or nerfs to him either. No changes. He's been really good.
Yeah, I don't know how much SKZ Backpack plays him personally. I know SK or Backpack's got a couple of kind of weird, like he plays a Zyra, he plays a Nami, he plays some of those kind of supports, so I don't know how much he plays the Braum.
Well, there's Dylan's Ahri. He's going to be picking that into the mid lane as they see Orianna is picked early. Ahri, a very strong lane opponent into the Orianna, can deal with the range and also fire back, and is very strong in the all-in. And the Graves for Gaudier.
Yeah, they're looks like SKZ is just gonna take it to full send gaming in this one. They want those aggressive matchups to win in the 1v1. They want that Ahri to beat Orianna. They want the Graves to beat his jungle matchup.
I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen a support pick yet. There's so much priority on Alistar. There's the Braum, the Rakan. A lot of these champions that have gotten a lot of priority. There's the Kai'Sa pickup.
Yeah.
A little late in this draft actually to pick up Kai'Sa, but it does go through and it works for FSG.
Yeah, that kind of points toward maybe Full Send Gaming kind of committing to this more scaly teamfight-esque play rather than trying to counteract this lane play that SKZ is drafting for. We'll have to see. I know Trick also plays quite a bit of Kai'Sa. That's one of his more played champions, so maybe it's a little bit more comfort as well. we'll just add Thresh as well.
Thresh.
Nice.
I'm not super surprised about the Thresh pick. I
Mhm.
am surprised that every support is left open and they decide to go for the Thresh. Because the
Mhm.
Braum pick is still really strong with Kaisa. There's no issue with Pyke either. Morgana, definitely an issue for FSG.
Yeah, really, really like So they're really putting their foot down. They said we're gonna win mid lane with Ahri, and now they're saying we're gonna win bot lane with Morgana. Thresh has kind of a struggle into her in that laning phase with the Black Shield, kind of makes his life a little bit harder. So their SKZ is just saying we are not messing around with team fighting. We're just gonna win lanes and win the game. Really nice.
There goes another jungle ban down on FSG.
Yeah.
Nar, Shen, some very... I think it might be the Cho'Gath in the top lane for FSG, banning out the counters to it.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like the Cho'Gath or the Ornn are very likely pickups here since they're banning out Nar and Shen.
Yeah. I do know that Memento plays a Beam Gangplank, so seeing that taken out, he's almost definitely going to default to the tank. And Xayah gets taken on the other side of SKZ.
I do like the Xayah pickup. It kind of screws the Thresh over a little bit with the R and the Orianna. It makes it a lot harder to get a good shockwave, especially since the carry from Schism have so many dashes that it's really hard for Orianna to shut them down and grab them with that shockwave.
Yeah. And Xayah is someone that can really help set up kind of tight back team fights. So somebody like Ornn drafted here to try and engage is just going to make life difficult with this high, like Morgana E, Xayah ultimate, and then Ahri ultimate just makes it so hard to lock this team down right now. I don't really know whether the Ornn was a great pick, but maybe they feel like they need some hard engage onto this team.
They are lacking a little bit. The Kazakhs, actually a really big surprise for me. I did not expect Kazakhs with this team comp. You have the Orianna Kaisa damage, which is a lot of AP, so it makes sense to add some AD in there.
Wow.
But it's a little weird to see Kazakhs. And the Maokai pickup from Schism, not that surprising. Counters Ornn very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really nice to see. It's kind of nice to see that they committed Left Hook Larry onto this kind of more aggressive jungler to let him kind of duel with the Graves early and try and get his team ahead so that their team fighting isn't as difficult if SKZ snowballs. And SKZ also did them the favor of giving him a lane to gank. I mean, Ornn beats Maokai in the laning phase. We've seen it over and over again in this league. It happens constantly. So Kazakhs has a lane to gank. Now it is a Maokai, so it makes his life a little more difficult, but he's got somewhere to go now.
It's definitely going to be a very interesting game. The Kazakhs pick, it's been a while since we've seen that, since the Evolve change on his ult. He does not go invisible when he walks through bushes anymore. And since that change, people have kind of been, going away from the bug, saying that he's not worth it, his damage isn't as good as it used to be. So instead, we're going to go for things like the Olaf or Sejuani, or if you want to stick with the Assassins, we've seen even Rengar being a higher prioritized pick than the Kazakhs.
Yeah, something that Kazakhs doesn't... My bad. So something that Kazakhs doesn't really like to do is run Predator, and we know Predator is really strong into the jungle right now. They nerfed Duskblade a little while back. They had his ultimate not have invisibility through bushes, and then they also nerfed Electrocute. So I'm curious to see if there's an adaptation to this Kazakhs that he's going to make. If maybe he's going to take Dark Harvest or something like that, or if this is just going to be your textbook Duskblade Electrocute Kazakhs coming out.
It could also be, it could be Predator we've seen Predator Kazakhs, we've seen Dark Harvest Kazakhs, I've seen Fleet Footwork Kazakhs.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of selection going on since the Electrocute nerfs for the jungle. Yeah. Again, with Graves, you can go press the attack, you can go Fleet Footwork, you can go Dark Harvest, you can go Electrocute on him if you want. I saw a little bit of Hail of Blades. I don't think it's getting a lot of popularity for good reason, but it's a pick.
Yeah, something that you can do at least. I'm not really sure. See, the thing is that like this Kazakhs pick has to work early, because if it doesn't, these lanes get shut down, and that's not what you want. You don't want your Orianna, your Kaisa behind the kind of like stompy Ahri, Xayah, Graves. It's going to make life difficult even when we start the team fighting phase. So this Kazakhs has to get stuff done. He has to gank. He has to be in the lanes. He has to force summoners. He has to do things like that. Otherwise, this pick's really going to go to waste, and this team could definitely falter.
Yeah, and it's not like he can easily invade either, because he doesn't actually win the 1v1 against Graves.
Yeah, it's at least at very minimum, it is difficult for him to win. If he gets a really good engagement and finds Graves at the exact right time, maybe he can, but it's certainly not something he just wants to take every time. And Graves clears pretty fast as well. Kha'Zix is a lot of single target damage, so when Graves clears his camps, he can use his multiple shots. He can use his Q, his E for an auto reset and some armor. It just keeps him healthy and it keeps him like easily clearing his jungle. Kha'Zix doesn't get that. Kha'Zix has to really focus on getting ahead early by ganking. So
yeah, he's almost like Camille without the stun on the jump.
Mm-hmm.
And Camille has been a very strong pick and is also actually incredibly strong in the Graves. And with it being up, I'm kind of surprised they didn't go for it.
Maybe it's something Left Hook Larry isn't super comfortable with. Maybe it's more so that, like, I know Left Hook Larry likes to play these aggressive. That's why we saw the Pan get banned out, even though so maybe he's really just more set in his ways as a Kha'Zix player than he is adapting to a Camille press the attack kind of like play.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree that probably would have been better, but I don't know if comfort is really what they for. That's what they wanted, and they did draft comfort in a couple of lanes. I mean, Memento plays a lot of Ornn, Trick plays quite a bit of Kai'Sa, Phoenix plays quite a bit of Thresh. Like there are champions that all of them play right now.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of comfort. I definitely agree. Dylan on the Ahri is very comfortable for him. We've seen him play it in tournament games.
Mm-hmm.
Gaudier, I'm sure, is absolutely no stranger to Graves, considering how strong he's been the past few years since his rework.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Xayah pick obviously has been strong almost since her release. And then Morgana is just almost always a good pick if you can get it into Thresh.
Yeah, for sure. The thing that I really like about that composition is while, yes, it has a lot of early game aggression, it also has a lot of safety to it. Like I was mentioning, the Ahri ultimate, the Xayah ultimate, Morgana E, even Graves E to some extent, just giving them that small amount of mobility. You can kind of dip and duck behind a Maokai, and Maokai can just sit in the front, and your damage dealers can all get close, put out damage, and then shift the next one in for a kind of rotating fighting style. And I'd like to kind of see that from the side of Schism.
I think the biggest problem with FSG's team composition is that they don't have the most reliable engage. They have the Orianna Shockwave, they have the Kha'Zix jump, which is kind of iffy since he's so squishy. They have the Thresh hook, which you have to land, and then there's also the Ornn ultimate, which it's most definitely the most consistent way to engage, but you can't always 100% rely on it working. Whereas on the other side of things, you have Maverick on the Maokai, where he has the Twisted Advance, he has the Grasping Roots. It makes it a lot easier for Schism to engage.
Yeah, I think that FSG really wants to look for small skirmishes. They want to look for the 2v2s, the 1v1s, 3v3s, things like that. Because big team fight, it's going to be difficult to lock Schism down. And in 1v1s, I mean, they just have so much damage coming out of Graves, Ahri, Xayah, so.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's going to be very important. I think the jungle matchup is what's to watch here. Because Left Hook Larry has to pop off, and then Gaudier has to either stop him from popping off or pop off even harder himself. Now, as we get to the 0 point, we're going to cut to a short commercial break.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The GameXP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Hello everybody, welcome. We are now into FSG for Schism. We had a little bit of a error on both sides, but now we are back into the game, and it looks like FSG is going to try to invade with the Thresh.
The one negative is that they might be invade. Yeah, they're going to be invading to. Oh no, they sent the guy there.
They're invading to Carmony. They are not invading into Backpack. They're going to be running down here. They're in this.
She's not going to see them. Yeah, if they clean this wall. Yeah. Oh, she will. She'll see them as soon as they come out.
Yeah, yep. They see them. Carmony walks away, drops the ward. Yep. The auto attack. They're going to get the ward though.
Yep. Good job.
10 gold for Chris.
Perfect team focus right there.
That's gold lead, and that is a CS lead for Chris.
Call that the game.
Call it the game. Yep. That's a CS. That's the CSD stat. Oh, but they did. They did get a ward on the blue buff.
The Vision score over to Oriana. I call it Vision Desert. Chris Meister, Vision Master this week. Absolutely, 100%.
Schism did, however, get the ward onto the blue buff. That's incredibly important.
Yeah, both junglers should get a track in this case. Both will know that the other is not. Oh, it looks like Kha'Zix will be starting that top side, so they're going to be able to spot that out. but they do know that that the Graves is starting red, so they're starting on the same side of the jungle, both on their top side.
Both are starting top side because neither wants to give the top side up to the other, as that seems to be the way things go now in competitive play.
Kha'Zix also likes to take his top side, or his blue side specifically, because it is a lot of single target camps. You have the blue, the Gromp, and then wolves are relatively easy to take, basically always. So
you only need pretty much a WQ. Pretty simple starts from both junglers. Nothing really to note. It is the Dark Harvest onto the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, the Dark Harvest onto the Kha'Zix. Both top laners running Grasp. I remember last time that we saw the Maokai, he was running Aftershock and he didn't do so well. But he didn't take Corrupting Potion. He went the Doran Shield again instead of taking Corrupting Potion, which I still advocate as bad. No, don't do that anymore.
Just a little interesting to note, Dealin did start the Corrupting Potion, however Chris did not. And then Memento started Corrupting Potion, but Maverick did not.
Yeah. Maybe it's a little bit more, I don't know. Some people have adapted to it, and some people really like it, and other people just don't. Kind of like back when Doran's Shield used to be taken by ADCs, and people were still sticking to Doran's Blade. I mean, sometimes it's just a comfort thing more than anything.
We do actually see Doran's Shield on Trick this game, too. Pretty
Both
normal
junglers.
clears.
Neither Scuttle has been taken yet.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of respect coming in from both junglers, expecting the other to do it. Larry is kind of sitting around this mid. I'm pretty sure he's taking the Scuttle Crab. He's got it. He might try to gank this mid, but it's a little bit hard to gank an Ahri at this early in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. She also has, she still has the Corrupting Potion, still has the Biscuits of Everlasting Life, so she has the sustain to stay in lane even through a gank, as long as she doesn't die.
Ooh, left hook Larry jumping over. Dealin taking a little bit of damage is not going to do anything. He's just going to walk out of that one. He does have the Corrupting Potions too. Yeah,
I did pump the rest of his pots. That is the one good thing, I suppose. The small victories over on the side of FSG. Oh my goodness.
Memento and Maverick in this top lane. Maverick is not taking the F side of this trade. Memento is doing a fair bit. He already has a Sapphire Crystal because he could just build items.
Yeah, that's something really good. He starts the Corrupting Potion and he builds a Sapphire Crystal, and all of a sudden, Maokai's out of mana and out of health, and the Ornn is sitting pretty at full health bar and half a mana bar, and you wonder what happened in this laning phase. Even though Maverick took some good trades, it wasn't like Maverick was trading poorly. It's just that the sustain from that Corrupting Potion and from the other aspects of his kit, Ornn is just so difficult to deal with early.
Yeah, not to mention that even if he wastes all of his mana, he can still wave clear right now with the minion dematerializers.
Yeah. In fact, we have 3 sets of minion dematerializers on the side of FSG, and we have none on the side of Schism.
It's a little interesting. A lot of people have chosen to take that so far. Some people are still going for the Biscuit in the mid lane. Ooh, Maverick getting a really good twisted advance to the Bramble Smash. But, I'm sorry. A little bit of a trade. The top lane Memento going a little bit low. Maverick as well, though, and there's not actually a lot of sustain here for Memento.
Yeah. He does have a sizable CS lead at the moment, about 10 minions, and they're even in lane, so this is to stay. We do. Oh, okay.
Gaudier in the top lane does not get the gank, however.
He got spotted out by that ward in that river bush. Thank goodness for Memento, but we should see him backing the TP back in here, and then he should be able to push in the Maokai. With all that he's going to be buying here, it shouldn't be that difficult for him.
It seems like every lane is going pretty swimmingly for the side of FSG. Memento with a sizable gold lead, Chris Metzler as well with a good CS lead, but in the bot lane it seems to be a different story. Carmody has a pretty high CS lead, even though there is this wave here for Trick.
I suppose really, like, in complete honesty, until first item, the side of Schism doesn't really have much of an advantage. I mean, Ahri with no items isn't really a force to be reckoned with. Xayah with no items isn't a force to be reckoned with, but once they hit that first item spike, they are stronger than their counterparts. That's when you really have to watch. So Ari's getting bullied a little bit, but everybody else is kind of doing their job right now.
It looks like Schism is actually going to make this dragon call here. They're choosing to go onto the Cloud Drake. They know Larry is in this top side, and this is actually going to be uncontested and free for the side of Schism.
That's the control that they gained from pushing in that Kai'Sa so much. The Kai'Sa kept getting pushed in, kept being forced off the wave, and so when she had her back at a poor time, they were able to just immediately exploit that, take the dragon, and now get a good back with what appeared, about 10 more minions. Yeah, she gets another longsword on top of what Kai'Sa comes back with. So at least a good start here for Xayah, and the wave won't crash into her tower, so she's not going to miss any CS either.
Yeah, that was a very good play from Schism. They do, however, have a 500, now 600 gold deficit.
Yeah, where a lot of that is right now there's about 300 gold lead on the top laner, and the rest of it is about 300 gold on the Orianna. So all
left hook Larry and Gotti are fighting here. The Call of the Forge God comes out. Ooh, and left hook Larry makes the flash, and he gets the kill down. Chris Metzler and Dylan looks like they both tried to go up, but nothing happened there.
That was a really good play by FSG. Left hook Larry especially being able to read out where Gaudier was and was able to get, I think it was it a solo? Yeah, it was a solo kill. He didn't actually get hit by the Ornn. Little trades, little things happening everywhere, but this is what you want if you're on the side of FSG right now.
FSG for sure looking for that. Carmony calls the blades down and almost gets a kill on the Trick. The Feather's almost doing the work, but he lives and he just has to bridge his heal.
Yeah, no ults used there and no summoners on the side of Schism. But that was the heal used on the side of Trick, and he's still really low. Had to pop his pot, so this could be risky for him to stay again.
I almost feel like they might call their jungler down to look for a gank here. Neither top laner can really answer if anything happens, though, as neither of them have TP or mana or health for that matter.
Yeah. The one thing is that it looks a lot like Chris Meister is controlling this lane. So despite the fact that Ahri is typically known for her ability to push and to be able to roam against an Orianna with higher mana and lower cooldown, she's going to be able to roam on the Ahri at least a little bit, so she will have priority most of the time if a river fight ensues. So Kha'Zix gets to just look at what happened on the bot side. This is what I've been trying to allude to. They've got 3 wards controlling their bot side of the map so that this Kai'Sa doesn't get ganked.
Yeah, they're letting Trick just sit here and farm. Even though he's at a bit of a deficit, they're still giving him a lot of opportunity to just, relax and scale up harder than Carmony could.
Ooh. Yep. Advantage of having a black shield, you don't get displaced by that thresh hook.
He can still take it though, yeah?
Yeah, he can still take it, but then his E also doesn't work, so he's essentially just running into a Xayah for no reason. So yes, it would still work if you could break that shield somehow.
But right now it seems like FSG trying to make some moves. Schism also making a move of their own with the Cloud Drake, but that is a 1k gold lead at 10 minutes for FSG.
Which is good for... Ooh!
A good hook, a little bit of a good flay, and a missed bind could mean a little bit of play for the bot lane for FSG, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for it.
I think Trick is a little hesitant to go in. I don't blame him. He is down he has the Doran's shield and the BF sword versus the Doran's blade, the longsword, and the BF sword. So in an all-in situation, the Xayah should, in all intents and purposes, beat the Kai'Sa. And then also he has a health pot, so even if you do a quick trade, you're going to lose that because of the sustain of the health pot. So I think Trick is just wary of going in right now.
I think Schism is playing a little reserved this game.
Yeah, they drafted
playing a little bit more caution.
They drafted the aggressive comp. I'd expected a lot more from them so far.
It's pretty interesting so far this game. Schism probably just trying to put the late game onto the back burner and maybe try to carry it off of that, but I don't know if they actually... Ooh, the dive here, Carmony doing a lot of damage. AM Trick's going to go down. The ult comes through from Carmony, and it looks like that is going to be a kill on the Phoenix.
Yeah, they were able to reset aggro onto 3 different people, so none of them are pretty low health. They might actually be able to push this tower. The Kha'Zix is on the top side of the map right now, so they could definitely commit for first tower here.
It's definitely a good position for Schism to be in, as it looks like they're going to take the spot turret.
Yeah, that was the play that we've been looking for them to make the entire time. I liked the aggression from Carmony just running under the tower. The ult reset the aggro.
Ooh, Dylan, he's catching out the enemy juggler here as left hook Larry gets one shot. Because there is a more than that bush as the first turret goes down in the bot lane.
We finally get to see some of these aggressive champions start to really activate. I like that. This is what Schism needs.
The more early game aggression they have, the better. The gold lead has now swung in their favor off of those two plays. Ooh, but Carmody not in a good position. He is going to get hooked and flayed, and he's just going to sit there. He's going to take his punishment. He knows he made a mistake. Ooh, but up with this top lane, Memento getting a good trade. He actually might look for some more here. Straight up fights going on. Maokai is in a pretty good position. Memento too. The Call of Forge God's coming through. Memento wants blood. The Grasping Roots. He misses the Call of the Forge God on both sides. Maverick, he's coming through. He's taking a lot of damage. The Sapling Toss is coming in. Twisted Advance holds him down. And it looks like nothing's going to happen. Maverick winning the trade, actually.
Yeah, really good job by both of these top laners, both playing pretty well. If he hits that Call of the Forge God, there is a lot more... I assume Maverick panics a little bit more than he did.
Left hook Larry and Scotty are fighting in the jungle. It looks like one of them wants blood. Left hook Larry is going to get it by a sliver.
Yeah, the ultimate was perfect there. Completely unable to see where he was going to be, and he waited out that Q timer. So he was able to get 2 Qs off in that fight, which is what won them the fight. It was a really good job by Left Hook there. He was perfectly played.
He did evolve his Q first, so the isolation damage is absolutely massive.
Dark Harvest, Q mat or Q adapt, and then he also had the red buff. That's a lot of damage that's front loaded onto that Graves.
Definitely agree. Schism, however, do not want to give up this Drake. They know that the enemy jungler is probably in the top side, so they're going to call Gaudier down here. And I think they want to really contest this. They don't want to give this up.
For sure. I don't think either team really wants to give it up. To me, it's more valuable for Schism because they have the Morgana, who is, she's able to use the ability power and the damage. Obviously, both teams like it, but the Ornn and the Thresh don't use it nearly as much as that Morgana might. And everybody else on both sides uses it. So.
Harmony calls back the feathers and does a lot of damage. But Kaisa's on the side here. She's taking the Scuttle Crab. This could be a fight. Schism are looking for it. Both teams have all 5 members down at the 13-minute mark. This looks like it could probably be what Schism wants here, as they love their early fights.
Yeah, and in this early game, the Ahri will do a ton of damage. The Kaisa is a pair of boots and Brawler's Gloves behind the Xayah right now, so... I think the item advantage in terms of damage output should be in the favor of SKZ.
It looks like right now FSG is actually going to give up the Drake. They are calling Memento to TP down. The Feather Storm comes through. Maverick doing a lot of damage. The Call of the Forge God comes in. The Shockwave does not do anything. Dylan's going to run away. It looks like Schism's going to get the Drake here. The flash away from Left Hook Larry, as it looks like FSG is going to try to re-engage. They do not have the Scuttle Crab movement speed yet. They have to walk up a little bit further. Carmony is in this front side. He's doing a lot of damage. SKZ backpack with the flash forward. The ult. Memento runs forward just to die.
Really good fight so far.
That is an incredibly good fight for Schism, and it looks like they want to go for this mid here.
Well, let's see. Alright, I think the fight's over. Okay. I wanted to make sure before I started chiming in. I think, if I remember seeing that, the Ahri was about 10% health and hit like 4 members with her charged Q, which gave her like 300 extra health. So she probably would have died if she didn't get all of that healing. But, Dylan just danced around that fight, got some really good damage off. Carmony got really aggressive, did a really good job too. So great fight from Schism, and they get the Infernal Drake.
Carmony kiting incredibly well. They're going to get the Infernal Drake and this Rift Herald that they can do with as they please. They probably want to open up that mid lane turret with it, but First Blood Tower Gold is off the market right now, as they have already secured that.
I think this is the point where they can probably break the game open. If they can get at least a tower off of this Rift Herald, they pick up the Infernal Drake, they pick up the advantage in kills, and they pick up another tower of advantage, and that gold sits in their pockets, and it just starts to burn a hole through FSG right now. About 800 gold advantage for the Kaisa, which is really, really high. That's who you want to have a lot of your gold right now. So.
Yeah. Carmony is doing a very good job right now of trying to... Ooh, Left Hook Larry going for the all-in here. It's not going to get much off. Gaudier going to have to flash away. Very good from FSG, keeping up the aggression. The binding lands, but no follow-up will come through.
Let's see if there's anything. Yeah, okay. I liked the idea from both teams. It looked like Gaudier was on a little bit of a back foot there, but he was able to come in just in time to put down that blinding cloud so that he couldn't keep engaging on the Morgana. Carmony.
Ooh, D-Lun. That is a very good play. He gets the all-in. The cleanse
Oh.
comes out a little bit too early, and D-Lun with an amazing solo kill. All the flash hook coming in from Phoenix down to D-Lun. He has no escape. Very well played from both sides. The trade kill goes down mid laner for mid laner.
675 gold over to the side of Trick. That was a hefty bounty that he just picked up. I really liked D-Lun.
I think that's more worth for FSG.
Type worth in the chat right there. Call it. Still, I mean, D-Lun's been playing great on the Ahri so far. It's just that, like, that went wrong, which was the one thing, is he needed to not get shut down, because that's so much gold over to the Kai'Sa. Keeps him at least on par with the Xayah right now, so.
It was definitely a little bit dangerous from both sides. D-Lun, however, getting an incredibly good assassination down into Chris. He did not burn anything, and Phoenix did have to burn his flash to make that play happen for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one caveat is just the bounty, but it was a fantastic play by D-Lun, and he's far enough ahead right now that he can still assassinate Orianna. He can assassinate Kai'Sa, and heck, he can even assassinate the Kha'Zix if given the opportunity. So he has the damage to do it, and they're gonna start pushing like crazy on the top side.
Schism actually killed the turret before Shelly got her hit off, so she's still full health. She still gets a full health auto attack down onto the second tier turret, and they can't stop them. A lot of damage went down onto Shelly, so her damage is pretty low, but they did a very good job killing that first Drake. And Phoenix, he's looking for an engage. He gets the hook, he gets the flay. Left hook Larry's on the side here. D-Lun doing a lot of damage. Gaudier is actually going to pop Trick on the backside of this fight, too.
Yeah, they got to bring everyone up here right now. It looks like Memento.
Oh, Memento, he wants to look for more. He gets the call of the Forge God. He is bound, however. Oh, he does not get the hit off. I don't know if he actually wanted to go for it.
Oh my goodness! I mean, I don't know if they would
Maverick bot lane,
but yeah, you're right. That's a shame that he was hit, the Morgana binding hit him. So
this has become a very interesting game. Schism's trying to run away with it, and FSG is trying their hardest to make sure that they cannot.
the question is like, at what point does like FSG actually take control of the game? At what point does stalling long enough make their win condition possible?
Yeah, I definitely agree. At some point, at some point, FSG is going to say, okay, our AD carry and our mid laner are both power spiked. We're gonna fight, and we're gonna beat you now because you took too long.
Yeah, that is that's the one caveat with SKZ's composition right now, is just that they were an early game comp. They've done pretty well in the early game, but they haven't done well enough to really run away with the game now, like you were saying. So
yeah, now it's transitioning more into the mid game, and they have to make sure that transition goes smooth enough so that they can make they can do a good job in the late game. Bless you, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I think once the Rage Blade is on the Kai'Sa.
Oh, left hook Larry diving down to Carmony. The feather dance comes through and he roots down left hook Larry. The flash comes down to Carmony. He's going to go down. Trick gets the kill here. A lot of damage going down. Chris Meisler going down. A double kill for the top laner of Schism. He's going to look for some more damage. The Call of the Forge God's coming down. He's going to look to hit that again, but he is rooted down to the ground. A triple kill for Maverick. He's going to look for more here, and that is going to be a kill for D-Lun. Almost a quadra kill for the tree. And that was a very clean ace for Schism. A very weird fight. But Maverick pulling through, doing actually a lot of damage for his full tank build.
Yeah, I mean, they put a lot of resources and time into trying to kill this Xayah. That was the one person that they tried to kill, and they got the Xayah, but not before she pumped out so much damage onto everybody. And then the kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back in the fight was just the missed ultimate by Memento. He hasn't hit. I don't think he's hit an ultimate all game so far.
Yeah, it's been very unfortunate for him. Every time he tries to go for something, he calls down the Forge God, but he can't hit him because he just keeps getting rooted by absolutely everybody on the side of Schism.
Yeah, makes his life a little bit difficult that they have, Morgana root, the Xayah root, the Charm. I mean, they just have so many ways to stop him from moving that ulting becomes an issue. So we did want Schism to take a lead, and that right there was a lead. They're now about 3,500 gold up. They picked up another Infernal Drake, and now their tank actually got a ton of gold. He's like 1,200 gold up on the opposing tank. So they have a lot of money to play with, and they've got that double Infernal now. So this is when Schism, I think, starts to really step up.
Yeah, it starts to get a little bit harder for FSG, even if it starts to hit the late game. Schism is looking very dangerous, although it is very far from impossible from FSG to come back from this game.
They do still have that team fight comp. It is difficult to kind of manage, like we saw in that last fight. Focusing down that Kai'Sa means that you still have to deal with the Ahri. Focusing down the Ahri means you have to deal with the Xayah. If you are able to kill both, that's probably when you're able to, win fights. But doing those two things with the safety that those two champions bring is going to be hard for them to do.
It's also very dangerous if Gaudier can pop off in a fight too, because right now this is a triple damage threat composition coming in from Schism, where they have to deal with the Graves, the Ahri, and the Xayah. And if all else fails, Maokai actually does a fair bit of damage despite being a tank.
Yeah, absolutely. I think where maybe FSG can succeed is trying to find an assassination onto one of these three.
Ooh, and it looks like it's going to happen. Left hook Larry looking for a lot of damage. Ooh, and the one shot. Left hook Larry doing a lot of damage. Dylan's actually going to pop his ult to try to save Backpack, and that is a big cooldown.
For sure. It should be off. It's actually ramping super fast back to cooldown status. Already almost a quarter, off of the cooldown of it. But still, it was a great pick by the side of FSG to get the support when he's going out for those boards.
Oh, I got cheated. That's ultimate hat Ahri. That's not nearly as important as I thought it was.
Yeah.
Maverick and Memento dueling in this bot lane. Maverick most definitely is taking the lead here, as he's almost lost no health in this fight. Every little bit of damage that Memento is dealing with, whatever he wants to do, Maverick just says, no, I'm going to heal it. You're not going to do any damage to me.
The sustain of that passive in the Spirit Visage just makes it impossible. This is the point where Maokai is able to actually beat Ornn. Before this point, he doesn't beat him because Ornn just has too much damage, but at this point, it doesn't matter to Maokai, so... Who would have thought they won the game through split push Maokai? But I guess that's what it's coming to right now.
Yeah, who could have guessed that at this point, Maokai would be a lot stronger than Ornn? He's 3-1, he's got a bit of a CS lead. I thought Memento would still be having a fairly okay time against him, especially after that triple kill. Oh, Dylan, he's going in here. He pops the ult. Unfortunately, does not get anything. Did the charm miss, or did it just not help with any damage? I'm not sure there.
Yeah, I think what it was is the ult or the E hit, and then he ulted, and then he threw his Q, and by the time the Q started to come back, the E was off, so the damage. The extra damage was gone, so it didn't look like it did anything. If he had hit it all at once, it would have done a lot more, but it didn't, so he kind of just missed the combo a little bit.
This game is looking pretty good so far for Schism. They are trying to push the advantage that they have made for themselves. FSG is trying to make sure that they cannot do that, and they're actually doing a pretty okay job of it too. The gold lead has actually gotten smaller.
Yeah, they've gotten the Rage Blade onto Kai'Sa. They've gotten a few. They've got the pick off onto the Kha'Zix, so he's got a little bit of gold. They're finding ways to at least try to stay relevant in this game rather than just fall to the wayside.
Yeah, FSG is definitely not trying to go out without a fight, and they're also by no means just bleeding out objectives. They haven't taken any turrets yet. They haven't gotten any Drakes yet, but they're still fighting for all the objectives that are still left up. They're definitely not rolling over by any means.
For sure, and what that means also is that if they ever were to win a big fight, if they ever were to get like that Baron, there's a lot of standing gold left on the map for them to grab. So they take that Baron, they can knock down 3 towers, and all of a sudden they're actually ahead by 2,000-3,000 gold. And then you're asking, if you're on the side of Schism, you're asking what just happened. So. Yeah,
a large majority of the gold lead that is on Schism is just from turrets alone. So if FSG can get one good team fight, they can completely sweep the gold lead that Schism has, get all 3 turrets, and make this a completely even game again.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what item break points. The one big item break point for the difference between mid laners is that the Bansheesville was completed for the Orianna, but it was the Morellonomicon completed for Ahri. So there is some sustain on the team. There's not a ton of it, but the Magic Pen is going to do tons of work against this entire squad. Ahri is just going to get scarier from here, building more AP, building more Magic Pens. So this is when she should start to spike and really start doing that late game damage. Ooh.
It looks like Schism gonna try to go for this Drake here.
It looks like maybe FSG is gonna try to set up Baron or at least reclaim vision around Baron. Yes, but without Kai'Sa, they can't do it.
Schism isn't being contested right now for the Drake, so the Drake is gonna go down. The vision control is gonna fall as well.
Yeah, that's the one knock on Schism this game, is they haven't really been competitive for the Dragons. I think there was the one fight where they went in for it, and they lost that fight pretty hard. So they were just scared off of those neutral objectives, and that's why, I mean, they're down 2 Infernals, a Cloud, and an Ocean at this point, and that's a lot to be down in terms of flat stats-wise.
Yeah, Schism right now is kind of just doing whatever they want as far as the Drakes go. A good hook on a Phoenix, but Maverick flashes the B to show that everything's a-okay. Oh, and a good charm down on a Memento. The Grasping Roots coming in for Maverick. They might try to look for the dive here. He tanks 2 turret shots. The Mine comes through from the Morgana. The hook from Phoenix. He's going to try to get the Black Shield off. Call the Forge Gods coming down through. Maverick is in very deep here. The Shockwave comes down onto D-Land. A shutdown onto Maverick. The kill on the side onto the Orianna. D-Land going to flash away. There's a lot of damage going down here. Memento doing his absolute best. Backpack flashing forward. Getting the ult off. Backpack might have actually just saved his own life and saved his team from a possible turnaround, as it looks like FSG didn't have any more damage, but the hook's coming through the Flay. Dottie are not in the best position. The turret does go down. Left hook Larry trying to look for a lot more damage here. He's going to get shut down on the brink of a free triple kill. And that's got to feel so bad for FSG.
They played that perfectly, and the reason why is because they started by taking away the area of effect damage. They separated the Orianna from the rest of the team, and Maverick was able to actually hold the rest of them completely far away while they got that pick off. And then they just had to fight one by one. So, you know, Kha'Zix would jump in, the Ornn would jump in, the Thresh would come in, but none of them had the rest of the team there to back them up because there was no area damage from the Orianna. So they played that super duper well. They were about, I mean, Kha'Zix at full health probably sweeps that team, but they played it perfectly, so.
Was definitely a little bit dangerous for the side of Schism, but they made it happen. They got a big advantage over FSG, and this is actually looking incredibly good for them right now.
Yeah, they've broken this game wide open a couple of times now, but this is really the big one. They're 6,000 gold ahead. They have 4 Drakes. They can get this Baron most likely with the cracked inhibitor. This is when they can start winning the game definitively. This is when they can take over now.
And Schism they've looked a little rickety in a couple fights, but overall they've still kept a pretty good handle onto this game.
Yeah, they got 2 more kills onto their Xayah, and now she has Infinity Edge and a Last Whisper with the Grievous Wounds item. Oh, they're going to start the Baron here too.
There's the Baron. There's a lot of damage coming down onto it. The only issue with the composition as far as taking Baron goes is that they don't have a tank. So they have to trade off. It's either Gaudier tanks it fully, or they trade off. They call the Forge Gods coming down through. The Baron is going to get taken. Maverick is behind them here. There's a lot of damage coming down. Backpack gets another Zhonya's off. Carmony gets a kill here. A lot of damage is going down for the side of Schism. This is not looking good for FSG. They're in full retreat. They're just trying to get some picks here. A flash from Maverick, and they are going to get tricked. That is a massive pick off for the side of Schism. The flash forward, and the Phoenix is going to go down. I think that's game for Schism.
Yeah, that was a spectacular flank by Maverick because they FSG they tried to set up that 5v4 where they end up getting the big fight, they end up getting the big win. Oh man, poor left hook Larry. But yeah, I mean that's all that happened. They set up that they're just gonna int into the fountain, but okay.
Glad you didn't like his KDA.
You're gonna have one. I'll take another death, that's fine.
That'll be game 1 for Schism.
Yeah, despite not having the majority of the game, like they spent most of the game pretty even in gold, all it took was one really big play, and they just could they just won the game. That was really good by them. That was really impressive by them.
Yeah, definitely a good turnaround from FSG, trying to get what they could. Sadly, they did not succeed, and Schism did take the win in this game 1.
Yeah. Just to point out also, the damage charts, Ornn did the most damage on their team. Now,
definitely.
Yeah. So, like I said, once on the side, in fairness, completely, Ornn did the second most damage in the game, which is a lot of damage. But that speaks to how little damage that his teammates actually did. He had a Kai'Sa, an Orianna, and a Kha'Zix, and none of them did as much damage as he did. That shows they needed to put a little bit more pressure on their solo lanes to try to get them more damage items, try to get them to put more damage out, and it just wasn't working.
That is a lot of credit, however, towards Memento. He did do a very good job that game, trying to keep his team in it. Unfortunately, he couldn't get any Call of the Forge Gods. He got picked out a few times. However, he was doing really well in team fights, in all honesty.
Yeah, he had some. Both top laners I thought played really, really well in this one. The early game matchup for Memento was really good. He played into the Maokai really well. The team fights, he had great ideas, great engagements prepared. But like you said, he couldn't hit any of the Call of Forge Gods, and his team didn't have the damage to back up the engagements he could put out. So that's a shame. I would like to see these top laners go to something more aggressive. I like both of them. I thought both of them played a really good game. So seeing them on something more aggressive to have a skill matchup would be kind of entertaining to me.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that they both played incredibly well. I know Maverick is actually a very good carry player. I'm fairly certain that he's a better tank than he is a carry, but I think it would definitely be fun to see him on a carry. Memento, very good tank player as well.
Absolutely. I think I'd like to see Carbony on the Xayah was really good. What was really cool about it was that he wasn't afraid to step up. He wasn't afraid to walk into a team because he knew he had the Morgana and he knew he had the ultimate to step back. So instead of, staying back with his team waiting for a proper engagement, he was willing to step up and make those plays where he hits a couple of autos and locks someone down and then they get a pick off of it. And he wasn't really punished for it. He wasn't ever just outright caught out by a Kha'Zix or anything like that. So he just got to walk up, do damage, and then walk back out, which I think was what really punished them in these team fights.
It was a bit of an explosive game from FSG and Schism. I believe we're going to take a little bit of a break while both teams set up. We're going to get pro draft going, and then we're going to be back. So we will see you when that's all set up. All right, everybody. It looks like we are going to get into this game 2, Skins versus FSG. It's going to be a very fun series, and it's shaping up to be very good so far. We're going to get into game 2 very shortly, as the draft is going to start any minute now.
What kind of changes do you want to see from these two teams in their kind of compositions?
From FSG, I don't want to see the Kazakhs again. I didn't enjoy it last game. I think they needed more CC. I think that the Kai'Sa Orianna alone do enough damage. Ornn did an absolutely disgusting amount of damage. 14k, the second highest in the game. So, you could say that, he'd be better on a bruiser, he'd be better on a damage dealer, but if he's putting out those numbers on tanks, just keep him on a tank, because he did a really good job of that too. Just put your jungler on somebody who's a little bit, beefier. Maybe a Skarner could have been good that game and could have caught out the damage dealers from FSG. The Morgana would have made it a little hard though. But I just don't want to see the Kazakhs again.
Yeah, the other thing they could have maybe used is like direct CC of any kind. So if they want to keep something like the Kazakhs, you could potentially swap out the Kai'Sa for like an Ashe, so that when that Ahri ultimates, or when that the Xayah ults, or when the Graves dashes, they get slower. They can get hit by your CC more easily. Might make it a little bit easier for that kind of thing, but I suppose that's more up to the comfort of Trick than anything. So we'll have to see what kind of adaptations are made.
Yeah, I like that they're keeping generally the same bans. I don't feel like there was any particular issues.
I think these are the exact same. I think what it is they switched the Jin Yao and the Nocturne. No, I think this is exactly the same.
Yeah, they're exactly the same. I like that they kept the exact same bans, because I don't think that there was anything particularly wrong about SKZ's draft for FSG. I think FSG just lost the draft themselves.
Yeah. So what champion into Graves do you want to see other than the Kazakhs? What would you like to see here?
Like I said before, I think the Camille would be incredibly strong into the Graves. It's a very good power pick. I like the Morgana takeaway. That could be mid. That could be support too. But into the Graves, I want to see somebody with CC. Graves has a lot of issues with champions who can CC him. The Udyr is actually very strong to Graves. Jax is really good as well. Kha'Zix is alright into Graves, but I don't think that there's anything else he does after that.
I agree. I also really like the Jax as well. We see FSG lock in. We saw the Morgana originally. Now we see the Ahri locked in. Is this the same champion? No, they switched because Chris Meister was on the Ahri last game, and they switched champions. I'm not crazy, right? That's what happened?
No, FSG is taking away the Ahri, and Schism is picking up the Orianna, so they're going to play the opposite matchups in this game. It's going to be Dylan on the Orianna, and it is going to be Chris on the Ahri, and that's actually a Lee Sin pick. I like that into the Graves.
Yeah, I like that into the Graves too. Gives him some early game aggression, and it does give a little bit of CC, a little bit of tankiness in the late game. And unless I haven't gotten an update yet of whether that was a mistake, but we see a Soraka come out from SKZ as well.
I don't think that the Soraka was necessarily... honestly, I like it. I don't think it's an issue. I think that you see that FSG has the Morgana, and you think, what champion has CC that you can't Black Shield? Morgana or Soraka. Just pick Soraka. Then you get to sit back. You don't have to touch Morgana at all. Let her play the laning phase as you want. If she pokes your AD carry, just heal him.
Yeah, this is that's something that you can do. I do know also the big thing is that if you pick somebody with kill pressure, and Ashe is really good at this, Varus is also really good at this. You can play a really aggressive Soraka where you max your Q, max your E maybe, and what you can do is silence whoever doesn't have the black shield and then immediately engage on that person. And usually you'll win that because of the damage of the Soraka, the damage of the Ashe, the CC, etc. So you can win against a Morgana lane no matter who their ADC is, if played properly with a Soraka. So I really like that pickup. Sorry, I'm a really big dork about Soraka because I'm a rank 7 Soraka. So I really like that pick.
I mean, especially considering the fact that we haven't heard anything about it, I would definitely assume that that's the right pick. And that's a Jin Morgana bot lane. That is the OG.
The epitome, yeah. Oh, the installation bot. You know?
That is a very aggressive bot lane. And the Ornn pickup for Schism, I like that. Adding a big tank up in that top lane. Shen and Maokai got banned away. FSG banned them. So Schism didn't even actually have to ban anything that's strong into Ornn. I would love to see FSG pick Gnar. I feel like if FSG does not pick up Gnar, that they have given up this top side because he is the best pick into this Ornn right now.
He's really good. I could see a Malphite here too.
Renekton.
Yeah. Dang.
I don't know how I feel about the Renekton.
Yeah, they're just not tanky. Like Renekton gets pretty bulky and does get some tank stats. Lee Sin does the same, but they don't have an Ornn. They don't have a Maokai. They have nothing that sits in the front line and just tanks damage.
Yeah,
that's risky.
I'm personally a little concerned about FSG's team. They don't have a tank. Schism has strong engage. My biggest issue with Schism is that they drafted the Orianna with the Ornn. Ornn is a weird engage champion where he does his engage from afar. So he's not a ball delivery system. Lucian's not your ball delivery system. Graves isn't your ball delivery system. And Soraka sure as hell is not going to be your ball delivery system.
So who's your ball? You don't have a ball delivery system.
Who are you putting the Orianna ball on? Nobody. You have to hope.
A little bit worried about
God.
I'm a little bit worried about Schism's draft as well because last game they had Xayah, and Xayah in the late game, no matter what, Xayah can scale. Lucian can get shut down really easily. Like if he gets behind in the early game, it becomes very difficult to get him back into the game where he can actually affect team fights. The same goes for Ornn against a Renekton, at least for the majority of the game. That Renekton can split push against the Ornn permanently. There's nothing the Ornn can do. These lanes can get shut down. Again, they're putting a lot onto left hook Larry to kind of get them ahead. But this time, if they get that early game advantage, they can really get stuff done. They can really do some damage in these lanes.
It's going to be a little dangerous. Honestly, FSG is playing a very dangerous game in my opinion. Schism is as well. I think FSG more so than Schism.
Yeah, I think FSG's... Go ahead.
I just wish they picked Gnar. Plain and simple.
Yeah, to me, I would have liked to see Schism take the Malphite. I think Malphite instead of Ornn would have been a much better pick. That gives them just flat engage with an Orianna. Literally the best wombo combo in the game. You ult, and then you ult, and then you win. That's the team fight. The game's over. So picking the Ornn was a little bit weird. That felt, I don't know, unnecessary. Like I said, how does either team really team fight other than a good pick from either side? Like Lucian doesn't really have tons of CC, Soraka doesn't have CC, Graves doesn't have CC. Like it's really Ornn and Ori ult, and that's all you have in terms of flat direct CC. So as risky as the draft was from FSG, I think I actually like it into the composition that SKZ drafted.
Yeah, I still, again, I have so many problems with locking the Renekton. I just, as a pick, I don't enjoy the Renekton. I think that Purple Cobras is one of the best teams, in my opinion, to look at for this. They draft the Renekton every single time it's open. That's why everybody says permaban it. But if you leave it open, all Cinco does is say, okay, so if they don't pick their top laner in first rotation, we ban bad lane matchups for Renekton, and I will clap them. Leave me alone top lane. That's all I want.
Yeah.
And Schism is not the team that will let you sit alone with their top laner. We saw last game, Maverick was never alone. Maverick was boxing that Ornn once in a blue moon. Other than that, he was with his team. So how's Memento? Memento's going to provide split push pressure, but if Maverick's winning team fights for his team, then what's the point?
Yeah, something else that was really pivotal was that if it weren't for Memento's Ornn last game, a lot of the team fights that went okay or kind of, tapered off would have gone the way of SKZ. A lot of that team fighting was around that Ornn making place. Now, he was more pivotal to those team comps, but in this one, we're going to see if he can actually take advantage of Maverick in the top lane. And I just don't know. Like you said, I'm not super convinced on the Renekton. Like, if this had been a Fiora, if this had been, I don't know, something else that would have that split push pressure that you can directly 1v1 someone, it would be great. Renekton does that pretty well, but he also falls off much faster.
Mm-hmm. I really like what you said about the Fiora. I feel like that would actually be almost exactly what they'd want if they want momentum on a bruiser. I feel like, even though she's not necessarily the best right now, I think that Fiora does wonderfully into the Ornn. She split pushes better than Renekton could ever hope to, because she has the auto attack reset on the E, and she can go Trinity Force if she wants.
Yeah.
And then she's also actually okay in the 5v5, because if she can get onto Soraka, it kills her, then you can't lose that team fight, because Soraka is one of the backbones to their team.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little... This bot lane is so... I don't know how to explain this bot lane right now, because Jhin Morgana is really good together. I like Soraka, I like Lucian as like a pair of champions. I like them both individually, but I don't know how this... honestly, it's got to come down to who plays their champions better, and I don't know who does that, because these guys. So, I can't tell you.
Yeah, the bot lane is definitely looking to be a skill matchup. The Morgana Jhin is one of the time-tested, tried-and-true bot lanes that even Riot said, hey guys, this is probably pretty good. You should probably look at this. But the Lucian Soraka is another one of those, because you have a super hyper aggro AD carry, and you get a support who lets him play super hyper aggro. It's like the Lucian Braum or the Lucian Alistar. It's almost always going to work out well for you, because both champions complement each other well. But again, same with Jhin Morgana. They complement each other incredibly well too.
They do. Like I said, also that there's an issue with like, later in the game when it comes down to those 5v5 kind of fights. I think Soraka's impact lessens to some extent. I think Lucian's ability to put out damage gets harder, but Jin's does not. And Morgana's effect is put up Black Shield, ult when a bunch of people around me, and I'm good. Like that's the team fight. But Soraka has to do so much more. Lucian has to kite so much better. Like I think SKZ has a harder to play 5v5, have strong champions for it, but they have a harder to play, harder to win position than the other side, even with the Renekton.
I feel like both sides drafted, and I know I've been harping on the picks, but they both drafted early game AD carries. I don't know. This is going to be a very different game. So the results have come in for the bettings. 20% of you think that FSG is going to win, and 80% think that Schism is going to win. So there's a lot of love for Schism, and we're going to get into an ad break real quick, and we'll be right back as a Spectate hits 0.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Hello guys, welcome back. It is Schism versus FSG. We are in game 2 in the series. Currently it is match point for Schism as they won game 1. So now it is their time to see, there is their chance to show whether they are going to end this game out or end the series early, or if they're going to let it go to game 3.
Yeah, they're planning a small engage here. Oh, they might actually get him.
Little bit of an invade. Dylan's walking around. Ooh, the flash from Memento. The Sonic Wave does land. Lucky Larry's looking for more. But it looks like it's just a trade of summoners. 2 down on Dylan, 1 down on Memento.
Yeah. Good job by Dylan to just like commit those. Like in a situation like that, you never want to give up your summoners. But if you have to, you gotta. Like that's just what you gotta do so you don't die. So better you give them up early and you don't die than giving them up and then dying or dying and having them up anyway. It's just better too. So
yeah, definitely. I think that's actually probably a 1 trade for FSG, since Larry, if he wants to, excuse me, could buff gank mid.
Yeah, absolutely.
That easy.
Let's talk to the chat really quick. Everybody in the chat should try to guess exactly how many kills this Renekton's going to end up with at the end of the game. Let's do that. All right. Well, how about this? We'll set an over/under, and Prophet's going to tell us what the over/under is. How many kills is this Renekton going to get, Prophet?
How many kills do I actually think Renekton's going to get?
How many kills do you think this Renekton's going to get this game?
4.
4. Okay, the over/under is set at 4. Take your guesses in the chat for us, Twitch.
Alright, we're having the over/under right now, and there's a gank at the bot lane. Schism backpack. He's going to flash away. Sorry, guys, we were busy trying to make a bet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was a pretty good trade for the bot lane. And then up in this top lane, there's a lot of damage going down too. Memento is trying to show to Maverick that, hey, you know, I'm not just a tank player, I can play bruisers too. And you're picking my Ornn? Well, you're kind of a jerk for that. So now I'm going to have to beat my own pick.
Oh, jeez.
So far, it's looking pretty good. This bot lane is everything we expected it to be. We talked about it so much, and now it's just an all-out brawl constantly. This top lane that, again, I criticize so much. They're fighting a lot, too. And the jungle and the mid that we never talked about aren't doing anything. Well, except Dylan, who is actually doing a lot to Chris.
Yeah, we've seen Left Hook Larry now also with 2 different ganks that worked out in the end. So we saw him get the flash off of Dylan, and then he came in on to backpack and got backpack's flash as well. So, little by little, they might actually be able to commit onto this Lucian because they do have the flash from Trick if they're able to get anything. So.
Ooh, Carmony going so low. Oh, the shot. Oh, Carmony lives on 17 health after that trade. And it looks like Left Hook Larry's in this top. Maverick does not see him. There's no more than that bush. Left Hook Larry is actually in prime position. Memento taking a lot of damage. He gets the stun down. Maverick is not in the best position. The Sonic Wave, there's no way he lives this. Memento getting first blood on this Renekton. That is how you start this game as Renekton and as Maverick in this game.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. You want to snowball this Renekton really fast. Lee Sin needs to be active around the map because in the later game, he's not going to be as useful as the Graves is. So they're getting value out of these picks so far. The Lee Sin's a little bit down in farm, and that's to be expected. Oh, he's going right back in.
Ooh, Memento Maverick fighting again. Maverick is actually doing a pretty good job of holding up his own. The grasp is proving to show a lot. Left Hook Larry's back up here. The Sonic Wave gets off. He is looking for some more damage. The red buff, but Left Hook Larry cannot get the kill. Maverick living with just a sliver of health, just like Memento did on the other side. But Left Hook Larry, he's not done here. He gets the Sonic Wave. That's actually really dangerous. Oh, and he takes the flaming breath out, and he is just going to recall in that bush.
Oh, that's a taunt if I've ever seen one before. That's a solid taunt right there.
Left Hook Larry, he's having a little bit of Lee syndrome here. He does not want to he sees a low health enemy and he's saying, I want more. He gets the Sonic Wave. He's looking for the Tempest. He gets the Cripple, but that is not enough. Maverick is going to be okay still. Left Hook Larry is actually wasting so much time that Gaudier is just kind of chilling in his jungle. Left Hook Larry, there's nothing up here for him to get. He is completely wasting his time and there's nothing for him to do.
The one thing he is getting is that every stack of that Corrupting Potion on Maverick is gone, and he has no teleport. So if Renekton's able to shut him out and get another kill on him before the end of this next back, it could be really, really detrimental to the Orange laning phase, and that's maybe what they were aiming for with this. I agree he spent too much time trying to make it happen, but it was a good thought, at least, what he was trying to do.
Look at that jungle CS difference. A 20 CS lead for Gaudier after that play has happened, and he's going to try to increase this as much as he can. That is absolutely insane. Gaudier did an amazing job abusing the amount of time the left hook Larry spent up in that top lane. And it's probably, I hope it pays dividends out at the end, because that was a huge punish.
Yeah, in fairness, I mean, all that he's lost so far is about 200 gold. He's only about 200 gold ahead of the Lee Sin, even though he's about 20 farm ahead. So as long as the Lee Sin doesn't keep giving up farm forever, and as long as he can get some more successful ganks off, I mean, that might mean nothing in the grand scheme of things.
That's definitely true. It could just be a whole lot of nothing here for the side of Schism. However, a very good punish still. Unsurprisingly, though, with the first blood, there is still a gold lead for the side of FSG.
Mm-hmm. They do. Oh, let me see a little bit. Oh, the Soraka exists, so trading doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. It's like corrupting potion in the mid lane.
Yes.
I would also like to point out, and I think this is very interesting. So last game, we saw Chris go Doran's Ring on the Orianna, and we saw Dylan go Corrupting Pot on the Ahri. Now, again, it's the opposite, where Dylan has the Corrupting Pot, and then Chris has the Doran's Ring.
But they're on the same champions.
Exactly. So they've traded champions, and they've also traded item starts.
I don't know. Maybe there's some hidden interaction.
Already looking for some damage. He's going pretty low.
Yeah, that Ignite might have... I don't know if they wanted to commit or not, but that Ignite might have been able to actually secure that kill for them.
Well, Harmony has heal and Backpack has barrier, so it's going to take a little bit for them to get through both. Harmony, he's looking for the dash forward. He's getting some damage. The piercing light and the double auto attacks go down. Harmony and Backpack in this bot lane going aggressive, and it is paying off.
Yeah, that perfect flash there to get to flash over the Morgana Q was spectacular. Ooh.
Gaudier with the counter gank was absolutely perfect, and then up in this top lane, Memento and Maverick are dueling it out. The Bellows Beth coming in from Maverick. He gets the clap down. This is looking very dangerous for both sides here. Nobody wants to back off. Maverick wants the CS. Memento wants to zone him off the CS. He does have 100% rage. He can look for it. The slice comes through, but will he go for the dice? The Bellows Rage! Maverick with the solo kill. Down on a Memento, trying to show that he is the superior Orin player. Absolutely wonderful from him.
The power of Corrupting Potion to just drink all of it, to drink as many stacks as you can, and just hope that the Renekton can't sustain with his Q enough to actually stay in the laning phase. Dylan
and Gaudier and Dylan. Ooh.
Nice.
God, that was disgusting. Gaudier and Dylan one-shotting Chris. A very good shockwave into collateral damage combo there, and that just shows their synergy.
Yeah, and Schism's now up to, 800 gold lead. So, despite some of the early game antics and despite the early game picks for this, oh no!
Look, Harmony with the piercing light, taking Phoenix down the dash forward. He might look for it again. Trick is not in nearly the best position that he wants to be. Schism is looking for this Drake. They got the solo kill bot. They got the kill in the mid lane, and they are looking for this Drake. Left hook Larry does not want to give another one up. Remembering last game, he might take the Q here. He's looking for it. He is blind if he goes for it. He does not take it.
Yeah, still getting followed by those two. Ooh, see some trading by those two on the bottom lane here.
Whew. This has been a very exciting 9 minutes. Already 5 kills. In this mid lane, Dylan surviving.
Yeah, I think the Q might have come out a little late there for left hook Larry, but I think he could have actually hit that. Yeah, he stalled just a little bit on that, trying to aim it properly, and so his Q missed because Dylan flashed it. It was a good trade of Summoner there because he didn't flash. Yeah, no Summoners were used on the side of FSG there, but Dylan didn't die to that, so that's kind of a shame for left hook Larry.
Yeah, this is, again, very, very action-packed and exciting game so far. At the 10-minute mark, we've got 5 kills and a Drake. Ooh, Phoenix, he gets the flash, but the barrier, the heal comes through, and Harmony gets the calling down. That was just a bait.
That's gotta feel so bad. I mean, seriously, Soraka was at like sub 200 health, and then immediately gets Q heal from Lucian and the barrier, and sits at like 600 health, and the Morgana just goes, "Lol, what?" Like, yeah, you're right. That's a bait if I've ever seen one before.
That was really sad to watch. Oh, that's a heartbreaker for Phoenix. You can see the. Oh, I felt that.
I mean, I think everybody watching that right there was like, "Oh, you can do it! You can get that kill!" And then just as soon as all of that stuff hit for a backpack, we were just like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's Soraka."
Absolutely, just full health in a second with the barrier and the heal, which is actually really good by Carmony because he read Phoenix like a book and he healed before the ignite went down.
Yeah, and then Carmony just easily picks up the kill into the tower. Carmony is making it. He went Stormrazor first.
Oh, that's really interesting. Actually,
yeah,
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen Stormrazor rush Lucian. I mean, Bork is a really good starting item too, and it's something that he plays. Ooh.
Oh, and here we go in the bot lane. Left hook Larry trying to get the assassinate down. All comes through the piercing light from Karmary. He's looking to take left hook Larry. He gets the dash for the double auto attack. Karmary is going to go low, and that looks like it's going to be it from that fight. SKZ and FSG trading 1-for-1 support for jungler, and that seems to be an advantage for Schism. If Gaudier wants to go try to look for that Rift Herald, it should be uncontested.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame that left hook Larry was able to make the best of that scenario, but I think there's a place and time for when you want to trade kills, and that was not one of them. You don't want to trade a 1-for-1 for your Lee Sin against a for a kill onto the Graves. Like, that's just not what you want to have happen. So I think that was a little bit of misjudgment on his part to trade those kills rather than just walk away.
Yeah, I think a lot of the series has been Schism trying to prove why they're putting Gaudier onto this Graves and why they gave it so much priority in both drafts. Giving him first pick this draft, and then he was the second pick in the first phase for the last draft, and he's been doing very well on it. 2-0 right now.
That Renekton pick, like you're saying. Oh no! Oh, it got taken.
Left hook Larry. The end of the line steals the wolves.
Still down by like 26 CS. So I don't really know. He can't do much right now. He's down by quite a bit of gold, and he's getting caught out.
Gaudier, he's doing so much damage. The ult comes through, the recall from Gaudier. This is just a kill. Backpack comes through, gets a free kill. And they're probably going to get the bot lane here, too, because this is just a free turret. The only people who can contest are left hook Larry, and he's not full health. Gaudier is actually walking up here. He's doing so much damage.
Yeah, he just has to ult him away for safety there.
Has to kick.
Oh, they could turn this, actually.
Oh, Gaudier's actually going a little far forward. He gets the blind trick. He has to heal. Collateral damage does not kill. Schism. They're backing away, backpack, and then Memento's coming in. He's got the TP. There's the blast plank. He's not going to take it. He's going to look for the flash W. He gets the stun down. Gaudier's going to live with the sliver with health for now. SKZ backpack looking to heal him up. Memento's going very low. They call the forge shot coming through. Dylan gets the shockwave down. That is a kill for Karmary. Everybody is losing their health bar. Trick not in a good spot. That's a triple kill for Karmary. He wants more. He wants some blood. Phoenix looking very low. Maverick and backpack are walking forward here. The Q coming through. Gaudier does not get the dash through. The piercing light for Karmary. He does a lot of damage. Karmary looking for more, dodges the charm. He's doing very well so far in this fight, and that is a pop-off performance from the Lucian.
All right, so if you're gonna start building Stormrazor on Lucian, raise your hand. I raised my hand right there. I mean, I seriously don't know how that's doing the damage that it is, but it looks like it's doing massive damage. That's crazy that he's just able to pop off so hard. That last fight started pretty poorly for them, for just full sim gaming. It looked like left hook Larry and Trick might have been able to kill, I think it was Gaudier, but they didn't commit at the same time, and then they just ended up being staggered. And then Memento's teleport to try and set up that play, just they stormtroopered in. It's a term that's just, they all go in at different times, and they don't work cohesively as a unit, and that just happened. And so Carmony just takes all of their lives one by one by one.
Yeah, that definitely didn't do any favors for Memento here. Ooh, it looks like they're going to try to go in on Maverick. It doesn't look like he has a fair way to escape this, the Bellow's Breath, but in the wrong direction. and he is going to fall.
Oh.
Oh, the shockwave from Dylan. He's going to try to get a lot of damage down to Chris. He goes for the flash Q. A solo kill for Schism again.
Wow. Yeah,
There's
so
two solo kills for the solo laners of Schism.
Last game, it was a lot of this game was really close up until this point, and this game Schism is just not having it. They're up already, I think 5,000, 6,000, yeah, 5,000 gold right now, which is the most they were up all last game until they took that Baron. So this is actually nuts.
Oh my
to take this kind of lead.
Dylan is just showing up in this game. He's doing so much damage. He did very good last game, and he is definitely trying to show Chris that this is how you play Orianna, and that is not how you play Ahri.
Yeah, I mean, he won on the Ahri side of the matchup, and then so Chris Meister was like, well, I'll try Ahri, and then he says, no, I'm just going to win on that too. He's able to win with both. Just telling Chris Meister he's just the better mid laner.
Dylan is playing better on both sides of the coin here. He played the Ahri better thus far. He's also played the Orianna much better so far than Chris. I think he's just trying to make a statement here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of SKZ is doing really, really well. I think Gaudier has been a little patient in his jungling and not doing as much. So Left Hook Larry has been doing more. But in terms of effective work that's been done so far, I think Gaudier really gets his ganks down. Like when he ganks and it works. Left Hook Larry just goes in and tries what he can when he can.
Oh, Memento's sitting in this bush. He sees Karma. He goes for the R. Ooh, Karma going very low, but they do have a Soraka on their team. He heals himself. The Soraka ult comes through. A lot of damage going down. The root comes up on a Memento. Dark Binding does not find anyone. FSG, they have to look for something.
We got to see the kind of burst potential that the Renekton does have, but then it just went away because Soraka. So the Renekton pick isn't working out very well. I wonder which caster would have picked that to happen. I think it was probably me, so I'm going to take credit for that one. But the early game pressure definitely wasn't anywhere near what it should have been, and it's starting to fall off already, the effectiveness of the Renekton pick. I don't think it's going to beat the Ornn anytime soon, so it's. I think the Renekton was a failed experiment in this one.
I agree. I think there was a specific furry Yordle that they probably could have gone for in replace of the Renekton.
Yeah, Teemo would have been great in this team. Right.
No, I think it's the other one with the boomerang.
Rumble?
Its name starts with Nar and ends with Nar. And in the middle there's Nar.
I think the middle is Dada.
I think it makes me so sad. God here. Fighting 1v2 up here against the end of the line. He might have been off. No, he didn't. He gets the collateral damage. It's a trade kill. Unfortunately, it's a shutdown. But in this mid lane, Schism, they're just doing what they do best. They're pushing down this mid turret as Gaudier's buying them time.
Oh!
Whoa, the bait on the left hook, Larry, as he gets Lee syndromed.
Yeah.
Dylan doing so much. The calling coming through from Carmony. Oh my goodness, the damage. Chris actually has to back away. Nobody can defend this turret.
Yeah,
that's going to be another turret.
They're going to get a lot here. And look, the Renekton's getting pushed in. He's getting
Maverick
pushed
is winning the 1v1 against Memento. He is beating him. He's got the grasp, he's diving, he's got the bellows breath, the stun goes down onto him, but he's going to come up and down the Forge God. Backpack, running forward, gets the Sonic Sound to Memento. He's going to pop the ult, he's going to flash down onto him, but that's the barrier for Backpack. He's going to flash away. Memento, not in the best position. He is going to end up getting out alive because of the Black Shield. Trick might try to look for something here. There's some pings down on a Maverick. Trick is walking forward. Maverick's building himself a nice little item. The W comes through. Maverick does have to cancel his little item. Left hook Larry, he wants a little bit more here. He's running up forward. He's going to actually go through the jungle, and it looks like they're going to let Maverick live for another day.
Yeah, that was... It's hard to kill Maverick at this point. The only one that could probably do enough damage to him to kill him is the Ahri, and the Ahri is... She doesn't have a ton of damage either.
Oh, left hook Larry gets the kick flash. That is the insect. Ooh, Dylan tries something there, gets the shockwave. It's not a kill. However, he does actually force 3 people to back away.
Yeah, that was in terms of what happened there, it was really bad for Dylan because he was 2-3 seconds from flash being up, so he could have flashed that ultimate. It was a good job by left hook Larry, and then that ultimate at the end just was kind of disappointing because if it would have done enough damage, it could have.
Oh God, you're sitting in the enemy jungle. Left hook Larry, a double kill for Gaudier. He's gonna look for more. He does not get it as Trick survives. That was a double kill in a 1v3.
That damage was crazy. He like 2-auto'd that, I think it was Lee Sin. I think he 2-auto'd him, or Morgana maybe, but that was absolutely nuts.
Everybody on the side of Schism can play whatever they want.
Yeah, Schism just has too much damage right now. I don't know how else to say it. Like they like, how are you ever gonna come back from this?
This is a very, very bad situation for the side of FSG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the team that has Ari and Lee Sin, they certainly aren't showing they're the better early game team.
Nobody on FSG side got a lead. Not the laners, not the junglers. Soraka gets to walk up to you for free and you can't punish her. Oh, it looks like they're actually going to try. The Sonic Boom comes through. The kick goes down to Carberry. He's going to run away, but it doesn't matter. Nothing happens at Carberry. He's just 1v1ing left hook Larry. He gets the dodge off. He's doing a lot more damage. The Black Shield Trick looking for more. He's got a lot of movement speed.
Oh, no.
The collateral damage hits left hook. Oh, dealing with the flash, trying to shield his teammate. Oh, Chris turns around and kills Backpack. This might actually be a little bit of a throw for the side of Schism. They're looking for a bit more than they can chew. The QW is coming through. Gaudier dashes forward into his death. Elon still has a lot of damage though, and now the bot lane, Maverick looking for another solo kill to Memento, but he does not get it. Memento turns it around and does a beautiful amount of damage.
Yeah, right as we were praising SKT for having complete control of the game, having so much damage, this last couple seconds here has really shown that maybe there's some life left in FSG. I don't know if they win the game off of what just happened, but they certainly showed at least that they're willing to try and fight to keep up.
FSG are trying to pull off the miracle. They got 3k gold back into this game. It's a 5k gold lead for Schism, which is it's still a big lead, but it's not unstoppable anymore.
Yeah. The big thing is this is a crit Lucian, but this isn't the crit Lucian of old. It's not like the old crit Lucian that used to hit for, 800 a shot and be able to just tear through anybody anytime. This crit Lucian I don't think is as strong, which is why the on-hit build is a lot more popular. We will have to see how that adapts to this later game when he gets the IE. We'll see if he goes Essence Reaver as well, because we know that that's a pretty good item on him. It's about the only champion that uses it anymore. So yeah, I don't really know what's like I can't see how Schism gets any more until Baron comes up, or at least until Baron is taken. So I think that's where our next point of contention will be.
I agree. I think Schism threw their lead a little bit. I think they got a little too ahead of themselves. Gaudier especially, not to throw any flame at him, I think he got way too far ahead of himself, and I think he just got to the point where he thought, I'm a Fed jungler, I don't care anymore. But it actually looks like Schism might start the Baron, sorry.
Yeah, they warded all around the pit, but they had no wards in the pit, so they had no idea what was going on until right that second, right there when the control ward is dropped.
Well, here comes the curtain call. Maverick's getting some shots down on him. Call the 4-shot hits one. It looks like they're actually going to stay on Baron. And everybody is at this pit. There's a lot of damage going through. A good shockwave. Maverick goes into the back line. He's dealing with two of them. A triple kill for Gaudier. He's trying to look for more. Backpack gets the Q, steals what could have been a potential pentakill, but it doesn't matter. Ooh, Backpack's getting kited out. Trick doing a lot of damage. Does not land the snare. And Backpack's going to run back to his team. Maverick is going to buy himself another free item. Probably finishing that Warmogs. Yes, he is. He does not, however, have enough health for it to heal him.
It was really interesting the way that fight took place. I liked the start with the Jhin. I liked to start with a couple of things. But again, it's this whole idea of the Stormtroopering in kind of ruins a team's ability. They had Ari jump in, then they had Lee Sin jump in, then they had a Renekton jump in, and not all of them went at once. So they immediately killed the Ahri, and then the Lee Sin and the Renekton both get Orianna ulted, and then that was over. Their entire engage, their entire chance of fighting in the Baron pit was gone.
This is still an odd fight. Looks like Schism might have overstayed their welcome. The Sonic Wave hits, nothing comes through.
Yeah, they have quite a bit of gold. They want to go back, they want to spend it, and they want to come back and they want to push for another inhibitor, maybe for the game here. I respect it's 25 minutes. They're 11,000 gold up. They go back, they spend, they get their item advantages, and then they come back and they win the game. That's how they win this. They don't push too far, they don't overstay, they don't give them a chance to get back in the game.
A very, very close one. The side of Schism. 10k gold lead almost now. And they just need to look to push to end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3,000 gold lead for Lucian over the Jhin. But even more impressive is the 4,000 or 5,000 gold lead that Gaudier currently has over Left Hook Larry. The 10 3-3 Graves that has 50 more CS than Lee Sin is just so right now.
This has actually been a fairly close game, despite there being 31 kills and 21 of them being for one team and a 10k gold lead. FSG still trying to show that there's some fight in them. They're bleeding out a little bit and they're letting it happen, but they have fought back.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether they win or lose, they can be proud of that.
Yeah, they certainly through the entirety of the series have not given up yet. They even in game 1, they kept taking back gold leads. They kept trying really, really hard to stay in these games. It might be
Left Hook Larry with the beautiful insect down to Carmen. He's going very low, but they have a Soraka. Gaudier gets the collateral damage. It's not going to be the kill. Dylan gets the shockwave down to Chris. He is going to get that kill. That could be the game. Memento very low. Call the Forge God comes through. He looks for the flash down. Maverick trying to do a lot of damage. The snare is going to miss Dylan. He is going to look. The inhibitor is going very close to going down. Trick steps too far forward, drops dead to Gaudier, and that will be game for Schism, as there is no way Left Hook Larry and Phoenix can save this.
Gaudier likes to aim the fountain quite at the end of the game, but yeah, spectacular job by Schism. They did a really good job through most of it. I mean, I think some of the picks were a little bit strange, but now I see why the Soraka was picked. Those times where getting killed by Lee Sin, getting killed by the Renekton were shut down by her. And so Harmony got to do what he wanted, and the Graves just got too far ahead. And so their team just demolished.
A good series, but a great game 2 from the side of Schism.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Gaudier in that game 2 popped off, even though he monkeyed a little bit in the mid game, made it a little bit hazy.
Yeah.
Still a very, very good showing.
Yeah. I really have to criticize Memento in this game. I know you might disagree with me on this, but I think if he had played something like the Gnar, it might have actually gone over better. But yeah, it was kind of a shame to see that Renekton pick come out and have it not really do anything. It does do pretty well into most tanks in the early game. It did the second most damage on his team, but it actually did less damage than 4 champions. Other than the Soraka, it did less damage than every champion on the opposing team, so including the Ornn. So it wasn't a worthwhile pick in my eyes, especially not a last pick if you get something like that. Kind of felt bad. Left Hook Larry, I appreciated the ganks that he put out, but it was kind of struggle for him, and the bot lane and mid lane just couldn't get anything done. So,
yeah, I think you summed that game up very well. It was back and forth. So, who do we think the MVP was for those games? I think
game 1, I really liked Carmony through both games.
I agree. I think Harmony played well through both games. I think Gaudier was a good catalyst in game 2, but I think Harmony did well all throughout.
Yeah, I thought Gaudier was great game 2. I thought Dylan was great game 1, but I thought Carmony was great through both.
I agree.
What?
Hello?
I got moved? Hello?
Hey.
Oh shit, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Carmody, we chose you as the MVP, which means that we get to do a little bit of a chit-chat. Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
You got the series MVP, which means that we get to do a little bit of a chit chat here.
All right.
So I know that both Rebel and I were curious. The Storm Razor first item on Lucian.
Yes.
Why?
Do you think that's better than anything else?
Honestly, I have no clue. I just go Storm Razors on pretty much any ADC, so yeah, I don't know. I was really a big fan of Crit Lucian back when, and like before the changes and everything. So I don't know, it felt pretty good going Storm Razors.
So do you think that Crit Lucian is better than on hit?
I think it's situational,
Mhm.
but I definitely do prefer going Crit Lucian instead of on hit because you just do more damage. But yeah, I don't know, it's situational.
Okay.
So-
Tell us a little bit about the series. Talk to us about the game plan heading in against Full Send Gaming.
The game plan was just pretty much to win, obviously. I knew all our lanes were better than their lanes, so if we just won individually, then we would just win throughout the whole series.
Mhm.
So with the Renekton pick in game 2, I know we were both surprised.
Oh, I was as surprised as you guys. I didn't expect Renekton, but Nav definitely clapped him up top, even with the Lee Sin in his lane 24/7. So that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Funny. It took a lot of pressure away from mid and bot. I'm really surprised Lee Sin actually didn't camp mid because he did blow both sums early game.
Mhm.
So him choosing to go top, that's quite questionable.
Yeah. A little bit of a surprise from us as well. I really appreciated the play that you had through both games. Something that struck me was that you were willing to go forward for a lot when you were on the Xayah, and when you were on the Lucian, you just kept going forward. You were never moving backwards. Tell us about that kind of play style and playing with Backpack and how he plays around that kind of thing.
I don't know. I'm just a very aggressive ADC player. I don't like to just sit back and let my team do stuff. I like to actually go in, do everything. But Backpack definitely, me playing with him definitely helps a lot because he plays e-girl supports. So like Soraka, as you guys can see, that really helped me through the early game that game since I was taking like every skill shot and fourth shots. I was boosted, but yeah, he definitely helps me a lot in terms of that. In terms of going forward.
Alright, well, if you don't have any questions, Rebel, if you have anyone you want to shout out or anything you want to say to anyone, Carmody?
Yeah, shout out to Backpack for carrying me. Yeah, it's all him. He's the reason why I'm doing so good.
Alright, well,
Well,
that will be
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all your teammates.
I want more MVPs, so I'll be back here soon.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Well, that'll be it for us, and that'll be it for the GXPC for now. We do have another game coming up in about 15 minutes. That will be Phoenix Rising versus RDE. So stay tuned for that.